So welcome back everybody to the Midlands Outdoors, back with my favourite walking routes, which is a new episode taking you through some different routes, what I enjoy walking, beautiful scenery, wildlife and more, even a bit of history. So this is on to the first one. So just by the side of me here is actually a path leading all the way up to the Lockley Fields, just off the side of the road, down onto there where it goes round to the Lockley pub, just right the way down the bottom, onto here, and down there, and we're going to go straight onto the fields. So it is really beautiful to come out on a morning like this to go where we're heading, but if you just listen very carefully you can just hear the wildlife. This is the time when most of the wildlife even comes out, is early morning, and if you can spot some of the wildlife, now the trees, the leaves have sort of disappeared, so really a bonus for you. You see the nice wildlife in the background, accompanied just down by the side of me right now, a stream leading all the way down there. So just a bit of history just on this route before we start walking to the fields. I'm guessing many of you have heard of Lockley Mill. Now Lockley Mill is actually situated further over the back over there, and I've never seen it up close in person, but I've seen some photos online, and it is really old and interesting. It does have some history tied back into it. So it doesn't have much history included behind it, but all I do know is that it is a grade listed structure. It's actually grade 2 listed, and that was appointed on the 11th of June 1976. And just looking down, it does actually say here, early C19 restored on the site at least one earlier mill, red brick, built on steeply sloping ground, giving 2 stories on the south side and 4 stories on the north side, 5 restored windows with semicircular heads and restored iron frames having interlaced wide glazing bars. A few original windows remain onto the mill, but there is a lot of information there telling you about the gables and different conversions for accommodation. Just a photo on now so you can just see what the Lockley Mill is, and I've always wondered about it and would have loved to see what it would have been like back then. Would have been amazing. You just see, no matter where you go, there's always a piece of history lurking, whether you've never known or something there. And that's what I love about walks. You come out, you just pick a walking route, go and set off, and you come across some really cool things. And I've done walks before, even up Clent Hills, and I've come across old abandoned shacks, really old, got some old stuff in there from like the 80s. Another shack what I found, what was a derelict, and that also had the little bits and pieces in, and an old Invacar just hidden in the bushes. You find many crazy things when walking, and that's what I love about it, is the history and the wildlife. I spotted a few robins just coming by the side of me, panning round. You can just see the beautiful alleyway down here with the trees covering it, look. Just a nice scenery for an early morning. And I just love when the sun starts to beam up, look. Look at that, beautiful views in the distance. Look at that sun shining. Really warm in this spot. But just listen to the wildlife, the sounds of it, it's just so relaxing. And very quiet over here, of course. This is actually why I do love coming this walking route, because you don't really get many people walk this on an early morning. So right, this is it. This is actually Lockley Fields, as you can just see now. A big vast amount of fields covering the back areas over to there. Look, you can see the housing estates that are far back. If I just zoom in, you've got a bit of views of Hayden Hill, view of Turner's Hill right away in the distance, parts of the Black Country. And just seeing parts of the Black Country from here, because we're now coming to the Worcestershire side, and it gets to Clent Hills and towards where Wychbury Hill is where we're heading. It's just nice because it's all fields now, it's all countryside heading that way. You just imagine you lived somewhere like that over there in the houses. All you have to do is take one small stroll out your house onto a beautiful scenery like this. And what I'm really thankful for is they've never really taken back much of this land. Hale Zone originally used to be much of a small land. There wasn't many housing estates like this. It used to be all fields surrounding small houses, cottages, and that's what it originally was. And on the Starbridge Road where I used to live, James Grove and Sons, there used to be fields all surrounding the back of there, which is all now housing estates. But I'm really thankful that they haven't taken back this land, which is still beautiful today, just to come and take a look at. But in many generations to come, I really do hope it stays like this for the young people to enjoy, come and take a nice walk. It possibly may do, you never know. But you know, the population's expanding, they are needed to take back much land, but I just hope it really does stay a lot of this, because this is one of my favourite routes to take a walk. To come in this spot and see the vast amount of land when you get to the right at the top of the Lockley fields. I can pretty much see a majority of the black country for me on the lower dips of Howes Owen and Old Hill, and also a bit around the Regis, which is what I do love coming up here. And I can just see the border of the Coombs Wood where it goes down in the dip. It's just amazing. You can just see a lot of vast open land just to come here and take a look, take your mind off things, or you know, just to enjoy the views what we have really got. It's just fantastic, I really do love it. But seeing that is just really beautiful, especially on a sunny morning. You can just see right away into the distance, and like I said, parts of like Coombs Wood in the distance, and zooming back out, if I just pan around you can just see parts of Old Hill, Rowley Regis, and even Turner's Hill right away at a distance just over to there. It's a really beautiful view. You gotta be really thankful for what we got, really, especially for being local. But the wind is quite terrible this morning. I know the weather's got to make a turn this afternoon. We've got rain, about 1 or 2, even thunderstorms, what I've even heard, which will give it a nice bit of theme if it does when I get to Wychbury Hill. But you know, you've really got to go out and enjoy yourself no matter what the weather. I mean, at this time of year you can't expect the weather to be really great, warm and constantly no wind. It's always like this every January. You really don't get the best weather until March time, and that's when it's really nice to go out and enjoy the wildlife more than what it is now, because you get most of the birds out and you can see much more when you go to woodlands, especially off more woods near me. It's just amazing just to see it. But we'll keep on strolling on. We've got to make our way now to Wychbury Hill. It just really is a beautiful sight. Look in the distance, and on an early morning you can just see the moon. Look at that. Really nice to see that in early morning. That's actually going down. The sun's sort of going in because the cloud is sort of going to block the sun in a minute. It does go really cold when that sun goes in. But over here is a different view to where I was. This gives you more of a view over Clent and the Squirrels Estate is what we call it locally. That's right away in the distance just over to there. You can just see the Squirrels Estate, accompanied by the views of Clent Hills and Water Hill. It is a really nice walking route, Clent, and that's actually another one which is my second favourite in the area for the views, because you can just see as much views of the Black Country and all the surrounding areas, what I'm at the back, Worcestershire, Malverns. It's really great, and if you've got a zoomed camera, Clent Hills is the best place to go in the summer, just to sit there and enjoy the views. It does attract many locals, and it does attract people from across, you know, different countries just to come and take a look at Clent. It's a very popular tourist attraction from the National Trust. And what's great about it, you don't need a National Trust membership just to enter there. And the Water Hill, what's next to it, much history behind those two hills. That one has a spectacular view of even further at the back, so they're two nice places to visit. I'm definitely going to go and visit them definitely soon. So where we're heading is right the way in the distance, just over to there. And that is actually known as Pedmore Fields, just in the back over there. And what you can just see right the way in the distance running across the line is actually Old Mill Road running across there. And it actually used to be, many years ago in the olden days, a coal mine. And if you've never gone across there to take a look inside the woodland, there is actually old building remains there. Some destroyed to the bottom of the ground. You can see the brickwork of where engine houses used to be for the mine. And it's amazing just to see we've still got history like that lurking in various places in the Black Country area and the surrounding parts. But look at this, even more views over to there, look. Because right around the distance over there is the border of the Black Country. Technically now we're in Worcestershire, heading into where Clent Hills is. And it's just beautiful. I just love the Worcestershire area for what it's really got to offer. It's amazing. So we've left Lockley Fields now. Wow, look at that house there. It's like a small manor house, look at that. I'm guessing that is really old. One more time. Like you say, there is lots of old buildings across the countryside. Just amazing to see places like that. I just do love looking at the old buildings. But we're heading up a road now, and this road should take us all the way to the top and then over to the Pedmore Fields, because there is no other way to get over to there unless you go to the far back of the Lockley Fields and across. But it is very muddy at a time like now, taking me this way instead. So it isn't too long, so it's got a short journey to get onto those fields. Just where Wassell Grove Fisheries is, that's where we've got to head on to the Pedmore Fields from that corner. And this is what's really cool about walking fields. Now this is a very old building of some kind, been here for many years. Looking what it was, can see there was some like old systems there. I can see like a brick with some like big screws poking out. Maybe many years ago there could have been collieries across here. I do know on the fields, like I mentioned, Old Mill, there was a colliery there, and I do know there was collieries over here somewhere because I did locate some shafts. But really interesting to see that it's definitely an old building of some kind. I definitely don't think it's like from farming industry. It's definitely either mining or something else. But look at it, that's definitely really old, that is. And I can tell, looking on there, there's like things sticking up with nails. That definitely ain't farming. But looking right the way in, I'm guessing the roof would have been asbestos as well. Many years ago, because I can see it's all dropped down onto there. But it would have been a big building, it did stretch all the way across onto there and onto the next part of the land. Really cool. Look at the views of that from the road, what I just walked. You can just see bits of Alzoing down there once more. You can just see much more than what I was on the Lockley Fields. Look at the views of that. Beautiful, and the sun's still shining right around the distance, look. But I don't think I'm too far from the Pedmore Fields. They're literally just right the way over there onto the corner. So I've only got another short walk up now onto another road, then onto the field itself from there. But you can just see there is more old buildings along the road. Just right away over there onto that corner, there's actually another house there. And there used to be like onto the corner here, but they're reconverting it all up. Some more very old barns. There was derelict many years ago, now being redone up. You can just see it from the corner. Look at that, even the roof looks a bit dilapidated onto there, look. Lots of old history and architecture. So right, this is the one that we're going to take in, Wassell Grove Road, just right the way up to here. So here we are, I made it. Excuse the wind if there's a bit of wind in the video at the moment because we're at a higher point. But just onto the corner, is Wassell Grove Fisheries and Calf. Never been down there to fish it because I am a semi-fisherman myself, but apparently it's a nice place to go for some of the locals that do love the fishing. And you can see right there, Wassell Grove Fisheries. Might have to try that one. But I tell you what, I'm just completely shattered walking all the way down from that steep road just down to there. It's a big incline actually, and that when you're walking this walking route, that's what pretty much knackers you out, is that little bit here. So I always like to take a break when I get to Wassell Grove Fisheries before now moving on to Pedmore Fields, which now is only a short walk. Let's go and take a look. It's a shame it's a bit too windy up at this point because I think the weather is taking a turn, like I said, at 1 o'clock, so it's got to be really windy today, but I think we might get away with it. But just one more time, I've really got to show you the views. That look at that with the sun beaming, a different view from where I was. You can actually see Franklin Beaches. Look at Franklin Beaches right way over there. I've never been to Franklin Beaches, but I've only been by the pools, the big reservoirs over there, but I've never been to where the beech trees are all gathered up. That's actually one place I might actually go to as part of this series, what I'm doing. But you can just see one more time Clent Hills just right over there. Look, as we're getting closer to it, really a nice view. The cloud is drawing in very slowly. Looks like a few rain clouds. Let's go and journey on. Right, this is it. So this is a short hop over here. Let's get over it. There we go. Just be careful of that, because I know last time I come, that was all the way down there onto the corner, and some kids actually take the barbed wire off. But looking there, you can just see right in the distance over there, it is actually raining over there, believe it or not. I can just see a fine line in the distance, like a haze. That is actually rain. And it's nice to tell when it actually rains, because you cannot see a view in the distance, and when you get heavy rain, it's just mad because it looks like a bigger, vast amount of fog in the distance. But look at that. You can just see bordered off by different weathers. But giving you a better view, I can just see more of Turner's Hill from here. Look at that in the distance, the big hill. It's a shame I can't zoom in further and further to show you. But they are really amazing views from there on the Pedmore Fields. And right around the back where I'm walking, we'll get to there in about a few minutes. I will show you the beautiful views from that section. So right, this is actually where the views now start to get a bit better. You've got Wychbury Hill just right away over there where we're heading, and right away just in front of me is really nice. Look at this in a minute. From this exact spot all the way around me, including all the way over there into the distance, and all the way over there where I'm pointing, just over there, and all the way behind me is just absolutely full of views. You can just see bits and pieces over the distance over to there, lots of hills over the background, and looking back from where we come from over Lockley, you've got all the views what we saw earlier. You can see, still see Franklin Beaches just poking right the way out between the farm down there. It's amazing. This is what I love about this spot, because it's the views what draw me here. It's taking all that in at the same time when you're walking. I mean, if you're walking at a place where it's just completely just all fields, then it ain't really, it's good walk, but it ain't really the best as what you can see from things like this. So you get more to look at on your way. But the wind's getting up because we're really at a high vantage point now, and it is raining over in the distance. I could see the clouds. So right, just excuse the wind, let's pan around and show you the views. Look at this. Right away in the distance over there, you have just got no end of views. They just keep going further and further into the distance. That is an amazing view, sort of similar to what you will get up in Clent Hills, this is. But looking right the way there at the same time, you can just see even further views out to the distance over there, the big hills at the back. Look at the weather formations over there. There is even dark clouds. Looks like it's raining. I can see the haze dripping all the way down, making it like a fog effect. It's definitely raining over there. But wow, it's just really lovely just to see the views there. Then panning right the way around, you can just see it comes into the edge of Wychbury Hill. And Wychbury Hill is a big woodland, an old Iron Age fort. It used to be situated right around top of there many, I'm talking generations ago. It's just absolutely crazy to think the amount of history what's on this land. And old pottery being found down onto the corners all the way down onto here as well. Oh dear. This is one problem now. The whole area is just completely swamped. Look at that. This is the problem when you have rain. It completely just it makes the whole place muddy like that. Unable to get to the next spot. Got a slight problem. This because I don't really want to go all the way back up on myself just to get to the road. It was a bit of a journey. Right, there we go. This was the only way to do this. I don't mind a bit of dirt. Right, let's go. But not that dirt, that's really muddy. So I've made it. I think sometimes you really just do have to look for a bit of an off track and get around things like this. Because if you've got decent shoes on, you don't really want to be damaging your decent shoes just for that. I'm trying to get a bit of mud off my shoes now. I don't know what Wychbury Hills are, but I do know that it's really badly muddy at a certain time of year with all the rain what we have. And that is just literally just around that corner now, not too far. Yeah, you can just see my shoes. This is one reason why I hate the winter. It's all the mud. Gonna have to say, this side is really boggy. I'm being very careful. Oh, it's very horrible and sludgy. Look at the water there, like how orange the water's gone from the mud. And this is like it all the way down. This is why I preferably find this walk better in the summer. The route what I've just done. I'm glad that I'm nearly off it though. You can just see there, look. It is really badly muddy from where I come from onto these corners, all the way there. This mud isn't even ending. It's just completely going further down. Oh no. Just, oh no, my foot's gone sinking in. Oh no, I think it's gone through my foot. That is horrible. This is bad, but we've got to do it. It's got to be done. If we don't do it, then we ain't gonna get there. Right, I think that's destroyed my shoes. These are gonna need a good jet washing when I go back. Oh, let's feel it going through my foot. This has probably put me off the walk for the moment. Yeah, and it's going all the way to Wychbury Hill. Oh, there's actually a few deer footprints on here. That's actually surprising. You do get the deers come over here sometimes. But look at the floor. It's bad. I don't know how much rain we've had for it to do this. Oh, what a relief. I'm just so glad to get off that field. I was going through worse mud than what I was in. My feet are absolutely soaking wet. But I'm just going to stand here for a few minutes and just have a bit of a break. But it's a shame, I mean, places like this, over in the distance, if I just show you, this is pretty much what's destroying our countryside, and this place regularly gets targeted. A lot of rubbish gets thrown into the sections here. I come down before, there's all furniture and household goods just dumped all across here. It's just terrible. I just don't understand why they do this. I just can't see why they are destroying countryside. It's like I say, many people just don't understand how precious our countryside is. You know, it's our beauty to come out and enjoy it, but you see things like that and it just makes you angry, because you know you've got facilities where you can take this kind of stuff, but they don't bother taking it. They just dump it in our beautiful surrounding landscapes. But it's hard to stop it. It will just keep going on from years on. They always do dumpings around here. But just in that vast open land there is Wychbury Hill, so it's only a short walk in. See, just there they have put signs up to try and prevent it. Tipping, you could be fined or sent to prison. I mean, they have done the best to remove the stuff what was here, because the last time I come it was just full of household furniture. You still see there is actually still some things left. Bin bags on there, someone's dumped a load of bin bags behind that bush. It's just mad. Just really can't see what the fun they get out of it, because they get caught out in the end. So here we are, we've made it. We're actually going into the gate now, what takes us into Round Hill Woods. It's a really beautiful woodland, this. Surrounded on the edge of the Black Country into there, and having the Worcestershire on this side, it actually makes the boundary. Let's have a quick look down onto here, because you've got Stalbridge. Stalbridge lies right the way down by Pedmore, and the bottom slopes down onto here. I will show you the views as I get to the top of the hill. But inside here it's just a nice lovely woodland, very quiet, bit of wildlife. And that's what you want really when you come for a walk. Wow, I haven't been here for such a long time. I do remember coming up here quite regularly. I used to do ghost hunts up here. There's a bit of a supernatural woodland with the past and history. But you can just see it's just surrounded by so many trees. Different kinds of trees actually. And by the looks of it, these were planted, I don't know, maybe about 20-30 years ago. I really don't know, because they aren't very tall up trees really, but they do take up long to grow. Well, these ones, there is some really old trees up into here. Now this one just right in front of me, possibly could have been here for so many years. You've got old oak trees, and Wychbury Hill is actually really popular for some trees known as the yew trees. They've been here for hundreds of years, marking it a very historical landscape for those as well. And apart from that, on the Iron Age force, that's why this place is really old. It's the trees, and the trees do tell a story. It's just really nice to look at them. I mean, looking at them, they do look a bit creepy, but look at that. You can just see the trees from there look really old. It is amazing to see them, but the further I go up, you will see the oldest trees poking right away at the top of Wychbury Hill into the woods. And what's crazy to think into this woodlands, now this could have been an old tree from many years ago. It just fell down through wind. I've noticed quite a few of these onto the woodland itself when I'm walking. There's one there. There's quite a few others up onto here, and the wind does batter this place at a certain time of year when we get bad gales and you get the trees fall down, such as this one. This is the one's actually a recent one. This one here, look, that one's fell down. You see the wind's battered some of the trees coming this way, but look how old that is up there. Look at that tree, that one's really old. Let's listen to the wildlife in here though. I'll be able to hear it. It's just so relaxing, so quiet. You don't typically get many people walking up here in the daytime. I've been up here several times in the year. I've only seen 1 or 2 people up here. Majority of people actually go to Clent Hills for the views, for the walk up to there. So this one's less used. I mean, people should be using places like this because it is really fantastic just to come and see. But look at that. Look at the old trees there. You can definitely tell this is an ancient woodland. So yeah, onto the bit of the ghostly theme. I know many people don't believe in that kind of stuff, but for me, myself, I've had a few experiences in my lifetime of even coming out to places like this. It's about 7 o'clock at night in the summer. You know, I typically do love the summer to stay out really late. So I come up here to do like a bit of what I call a ghost hunt. And I was here for around about, it's starting to get pitch black. And I seen something go across the trees. I cannot make up my mind what it was. And it was really strange. And I seen like this white dress go across the trees. And obviously having the Iron Age 40, you don't know whether that holds much history to whether many people died up here in that time. You know, this land holds much history from the past, even, you know, before we were here. Because the old trees, you can just tell how old they are. There could have been stuff on here in the past. Like, I know there was like old camps that surrounded the hill onto the sides, and that's actually where the old pottery was actually found, and it was taken to a museum. And there is a sign for that as you're going down to the bottom of Pedmore. It tells you about the pottery, what was found there. But it is a really old landscape, and I mean, to have something like this really old in the area is really cool. And this is why I love coming to it. It's peaceful, relaxing, and history at the same time. I mean, I would have liked to know what the Iron Age fort really looked like, because there was a map that I seen online telling you where it even stretched to around onto these corners. It must have been so huge that Wychbury Hill splits into two parts of the woodland. This is the first part of the woodland before you come into the ancient part of the woodland at the far back, and that's where you get the yew trees and much of the older trees over there. But just panning round, you can just see it's divided by the new trees what are planted here many years ago, compared to on this side. This is where most of the old trees are lurking, just onto the backs over there. You can see as I'm walking up, there's even more old trees just hiding right the way in. And there, look at that. There's just so many of them. I mean, look at those ones, look at those trees. This one's another cool one to show you. This one's a younger one. This part's probably been here for years at the same time. Look at that, the way it's like twisted round onto the branches, look. And looking right the way down, that one is old. Got a trunk for that one. Some of these are oak trees, I think. But here's one of them that I want to show you. This has probably been here for hundreds of years. Look at that. Looking right the way up. And look how tall this thing is. Look at the branches on that. Absolutely crazy. It does look spooky. And I've been up here at night and shine the torch and it's just absolutely spooky seeing it. Look at that tree. They're that old. And look at these ones. These are the last ones that I'm going to show you. But look at all these gathered all together. These are the same trees. So you can just definitely see, even by looking at the trees, you can just tell that this woodland is definitely ancient. It's been here for so many years. Apart from having the newly planted trees, there is some pine trees just over the back where I was just pointing earlier. I mean, just right away over there is the pine trees. Sit right up to there. You've got different trees onto here. So that's what I love, is a nice peaceful walk like this. I've not even encountered anybody walking down here at all. Not even down the paths, there's nobody at all today. But onto Wychbury Hill, I think what I have noticed, there isn't many wildlife up here. I mean, if I'm very quiet, listen. The only thing what you can hear is a road. All I can hear is the road and the wind. There's nothing else up over here. Not like Clent Hills. Clent Hills holds much of the wildlife, but I've noticed that every time I've been, I always wonder why there's not much wildlife onto here. Not many bird life either. It is just so quiet and peaceful and relaxing. And all you can see is the wind battering against each other. It is quite cool. But this is Round Hill Woods. So as I come to the bottom of the woodland itself, there is two access points. You've got one that leads down into the Pedmore area, and you've got one access point that takes you on to the main Wychbury hill itself, where the monument is, and the bottom of the hill where the Temple of Theseus is. Temple of Theseus is another interesting structure. There's a grade listed. It was built by the Lord of Hagley down onto the bottom. That was part of Hagley Hall estate many years ago. I think it still does have stuff to do with it, but obviously it's gone into a dilapidated state, being graffitied really badly, and it is in the poor state again once more. It is really a shame to see a building like the Temple of Theseus. Picture on for you now what it is, so you can just see it. I'm not heading down to there, but I will put a photo on for you so you can understand what it is. But it is a nice little structure. I've been there a few times. It's onto the corner. I will show you the views, but I'm up onto Wychbury Hill from the gate. Wow, the final views to end the video, but look at this. Really beautiful view. Zooming right the way in, you can just see parts down where I'm looking of Stourbridge just right around to the corner. Vast amount of views in the distance. Once more, there's a high vantage point up here, so it's nice with a zoomed camera to look at the views further over the back. On a nice sunny day you can just see much more today. The clouds are starting to come further up now. It looks like it's about to rain any moment. You can see the lines in the distance over there, so I think we're going to have a nice little bit of a shower, I think. But looking down, look how muddy the paths are, especially how much rain we've had up here. This one is a really muddy path down to Pedmore, but that is definitely not walkable for me. So I think we're going to head right the way behind us and go and check out the main monument on the hill, what says "Who Put Bella in the Witch Elm." But it is really fantastic just to come and show you so far Round Hill Woodland, which is one of my favourite woods in the local area, just to come and take a short walk. It isn't really too far to come for me, but it is spectacular to see the old trees. You've got the history of that part of the woodland where the Iron Age fort is situated, so if you've never been over there you will definitely see the old ramparts on the hill. I'm just going to head straight in front and go over to the main hill itself now. So right, we've pretty much made it. This is the fields now where the big monument is actually situated. It might be a bit windy now because we're going above an high vantage point once more. It's really dark above me, so I'm really judging this at the moment because I've got no umbrella out. I bet you it's going to pile down the rain. But the views up here once more, the Clent Hills are really beautiful. You can see there, look at that. Nice views of Clent. But the further you go up, you can just see further of the back. Got an helicopter at the moment. Look at that. You do see the planes come over this way. Because above me right now, it's actually a flight path for the small planes. And also you get the big planes sometimes come over this way. So when flying a drone over this hill, you have to be careful of the flight path, because it's really low, like that where the helicopter was just heading. But wow, look at that. That is really old. That's actually the Grade 2 listed structure onto Wychbury Hill. Who Put Bella in the Witch Elm would have been situated on there many years ago. Still has got the graffiti, but it is in bad state because it's been graffitied by kids. The local youths that do come over here have destroyed much of this landscape with graffiti, especially the Temple of Theseus. And if we carefully go through here, careful I don't rip my jacket. There we go. I can actually get a close view just to show you up to the monument itself, because somebody's cut the way through the gate so you can actually walk over here. But this is pretty much as close I can take you to the monument, which is what I wanted to do. But look at that, excuse the wind, very windy. Oh, but you can just see, turn my back towards the wind if I come backwards. You see there, hers put Bella in the Witch Elm graffitied, with somebody's put who and put hers on there now. But originally it would have said who put Bella in the Witch Elm. It's there, the old historic graffiti right there, look, pretty cool. But what's interesting about this monument itself is that there is old dates carved onto the wall which are not visible from the side there. You can only see them from this section, but you can see there, look, writing and also dates onto that wall. Very badly windy. If I can come round this corner and maybe block it out, you can just see here a bit better. Sorry about that wind. I don't know if there's any dates onto this corner to show you, but I know there's names up there that are really old. You can see something carved onto the wall up to there. But look how tall that is right the way up. Look at that. It's crazy, that is. And then seeing here, there would have been dates there. What I'm looking at right now. Loads of faded out really bad. No, that's something 19th century there. There was one that I seen from going back many years ago. But it's really cool. You see there how old it is sandstone. Got some plants growing on there, look. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this walk. It's been a brilliant one actually, coming down to Wychbury here from the Lockley Fields. I've really enjoyed it. I've showed you about as much as I can at the moment because the weather's going to make a turn any moment now, and it's a very short day for me for this really. So when I get back I don't really want to get too much soaked. You just see the rain dropping right now with the clouds. I think it's forecast for much of the afternoon. But one more look at the monument going right the way down, look. But yeah, thank you very much for watching my favourite walking routes. Really fantastic to show you. But stay tuned for more and we'll see you on the next walking route.